Hi, this is Charlene Hines from Blumosity Psychotherapy, and this guided meditation is intended to help you get in touch with the part of you that is full of self-doubt. So I'd invite you to begin by finding a space that's clear of distraction, free of children, parents, partners, cell phones, somewhere quiet that's just for you, and find a comfortable place to sit. Could be on a chair, could be on the floor on a pillow with your back against the wall. I invite you to sit as opposed to lying down so that you don't want to drift off to sleep during this meditation. So once you've found yourself in a comfortable spot, maybe allowing your hands to just rest in your lap and either fixing your eyes on an object or a place in the room and keeping the gaze soft, that is, keeping it slightly unfocused, or if it's comfortable to do so, closing the eyes and taking a deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Again, take a deep breath in, let it go through the mouth. Another deep breath in, let it go through the mouth. One last time, deep breath in, and slowly exhale through the mouth. And then just let your breath return to its normal pattern, whatever's comfortable. You're just breathing. No need to think about it. Just let it go for now. And notice what it feels like just to be sitting where you're at. Perhaps noticing the connection between your body and the object that you're sitting on. Perhaps noticing your spine and just noticing its position. If it's curled in, perhaps allowing it to lengthen up, to straighten it up. Noticing what your shoulders are doing, letting them relax. Noticing if there's any part of your clothing that's uncomfortable and seeing if you can relax that a bit as well. And now noticing your breath. So draw your attention to noticing your breath. So our breath just happens automatically. It's not something we normally pay attention to. And so I'd like you to notice just what it's like to breathe. Be curious. Notice the sensations in the body as you breathe in and out through the nose. Breathe in. Maybe notice the belly expanding and breathe out. As you breathe in, maybe noticing ribs expanding slightly, chest lifting slightly. And as you breathe out, perhaps noticing the difference. Is there a difference? Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And you may find that it's hard to really focus your attention just on your breath because our minds like to think. There's a part of us that likes to be on thinking, analyzing, judging, Notice if that's happening, and that's okay, it will happen. And draw your attention back to what it's like to breathe in and out. There's no right or wrong way to do this. All we're simply doing is noticing. Noticing when the mind comes in to take us into a thought, a to-do item on our list, a worry, a should have, whatever it is. Maybe it's an interpretation of the sensation. Let that go. Those are thoughts. That's thinking. I want you to notice it, let it go. Shift your attention back to breathing. Notice if there's a struggle being created in the mind. And just observe that. I observe that there's a struggle happening in my mind. A part of me perhaps is saying, am I doing this right? What's the point? This is hard to do. I don't like doing this. I could be doing something, whatever it is. Just notice if there's any sort of debate going on, and maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just random thoughts coming in and out. Notice that as well. Notice it, and then draw your attention back. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And perhaps now, observing the pause at the end of each inhalation and each exhalation. Keep drawing your attention back to the breath when you become aware of thoughts entering the mind. And now, in your mind's eye, I invite you to imagine leaving the space you're in and opening the door and seeing yourself transported outside into a wide open field full of tall grass and wildflowers. And imagine there's a path and you decide to follow it. The sky is blue. There's white, fluffy clouds above. Not too hot or too cold. It's perfectly comfortable going for this walk. And you see up ahead a forest that the path is leading into, and you decide to follow it. It feels safe. It feels comforting. And as you walk into the forest, you notice a clearing up ahead where there's a nice, comfortable bench. And there's a clearing of grass. And you decide to sit down. And you notice that there is a bench across from you as well. I invite you to bring to mind a time when you had self-doubt. Perhaps it seemed fleeting. Perhaps it was associated with a specific event or experience. Whatever it is, or whatever it was, see if you can bring that to mind. And let's bring the part of you that does have self-doubt and ask it to sit on the bench across from you. So seeing if you can separate that part that feels self-doubt, from you, and take a look at it. How long has this part been with you? For as long as you can remember, or is it only something that's come up recently, or perhaps at a certain stage in your life? Notice that. And as you're sitting on the bench, separating from the part of you that has self-doubt, I invite you to look at that part and ask it what its purpose is. How come it's there? What does it say back to you? And again, seeing if you can separate from this part, sitting on your bench and speaking with the part of you that feels self-doubt. Ask it, what does it fear? How does it respond? And ask this part that has self-doubt, what does it need? What does it need? Now, again, using your power of imagination, see if you can transform that part into someone you know. So instead of the part sitting across from you. It's a person you know and a person you love. Envision that person. Now imagine that person that you love is telling you that they're so full of self-doubt. They don't know if they can do anything right. They feel useless at times. They feel powerless. They don't feel good enough. They feel like perhaps others are judging them. Or maybe they fear that others are really going to figure things out. They're going to figure out that I'm not really the person I project. It's not the real me. I'm putting on a mask. What do you want to say to that loved one, that person that is full of this self-doubt about themselves? What would you say? Is it possible to turn your words of comfort towards yourself and towards that part of you that feels the self-doubt, that perhaps feels less than and at certain times or not good enough? Can you give that part of you some advice, some words of encouragement, some compassion, some kindness? And then again, using your powers of imagination, seeing that part of you again that is full of self-doubt, and it's sitting opposite to you on the bench across from you. Is it safe to give it a hug? Tell it it's okay? Let it know that it is good enough. We are all human. We make mistakes. But that doesn't define who we are. Who we are in our true essence is love, compassion, kindness, caring, fun, courage. And then welcome that part of you back into your body, placing it wherever it wants to be. And just knowing that when it comes up, you can let it know that you are okay. And notice when it comes up, that part of you, if the mind wants to get caught up in it, if the mind wants to believe it, when it comes up, remind yourself, I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough, whatever it is, because it's just a thought, doesn't mean it's true. Where's the evidence? thanking that part for whatever wisdom it might have provided you or not. Again, there's no right or wrong with this work. It's an exploration. Just treat it as such. And then in your mind's eye, I'd like you to get up from the bench that you're sitting on in the forest clearing and follow the pathway back through the forest to the path through the field of wild grasses and wildflowers, back to your spot, wherever you're sitting right here, right now. And again, take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Let it out. Again, take a deep breath in and let it out through the mouth. One more time. Deep breath in, letting it out very slowly from the mouth. And then returning your breath to its natural pattern. Perhaps just wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. And then slowly circling your shoulders back, only if there's no pain, and just noticing what that's like. And then slowly circle your shoulders in the other direction and notice what that feels like. Drop your chin down to your chest after stopping the shoulder circles. Notice what that feels like on the back of the neck. And then roll the chin to the right shoulder. Notice that. And roll it to the left. And notice that. And keep rolling the chin back and forth at your pace, noticing whatever sensations come up in the body. Noticing if there's a thought that comes in, and then turning attention back to whatever you sense in the body, as opposed to whatever you're thinking. Again, just shifting attention from thoughts to sensations. And then you can still the chin at the chest in the center. Opening your eyes, keeping the gaze soft. And coming back into the room. And if you wish, journaling about your experience, about what it may have meant, if there was any insight or not. Or maybe just letting go of this experience and doing something kind for yourself today. What could that be? Thanks for checking in. Enjoy the rest of the day. And until next time, namaste.